Coach, just how pleased were you with Cal's performance tonight, stepping in for Patrick?
Yeah, I think Cal's 7 minutes were probably the most important 7 minutes we've had all season. He came in, had a block shot, caught it, dunked it, but just being big and physical in there and just making it as tough for Hunter as possible. You know, he's progressing nicely. We talked about it before. It's hard to get him, you know, minutes where he's going to get confidence, but you know, it was a big 7 minutes.
Emma?
Do you feel like Jameer is just kind of continuing to become more aggressive, and was there an emphasis on him continuing to that?
No, I think the biggest thing that we've talked about with Jameer, and I've talked about Jameer, was just being patient and learning the league. I think he's playing as good as any player in the country right now, and I think he's gotten comfortable with the length and size he has to go against every night. It's a big adjustment, you know, seeing the centers he sees, the coverages he's seeing. I just think he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable with, you know, not settling to be on the perimeter, which I thought, even though he was playing well in the beginning of the year, I thought I think he's got more comfortable with being more aggressive.
And obviously very few turnovers and even fewer live ball turnovers.
I'm throwing a party at the house tonight.
Any idea?
I think this is the first time we've had a positive assist turnover ratio in like 6 games. Yeah, you know, being at home is nice. You know, I think we've gotten a little rattled on the road, to be perfectly honest with you. And at times we've played a little bit too fast on the road, and I think we've gotten a little rattled on the road. And I think that's where some of the turnovers have occurred. But I think at home we've done a pretty good job taking care of the basketball, at least getting shots up, which I thought was important.
Emma?
Coach, it seemed like Julian Reese did a better job today than he has in the past of staying out of foul trouble. What did you see from him, especially in that second half, that allowed him to stay aggressive?
I think Julian played as good a basketball game as you can against probably one of the best players in the country. I thought he was physical all night. I thought he stuck to the game plan. He got up the line, he battled, he made it tough for Hunter. When you take away Hunter's 3 threes, he had 10-9 the way 10-10 the way I look at it. So ever since Gigi's sort of gotten healthy and got his legs back, I think he's playing really good basketball. But I thought that was the best game he's played all year.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was going to ask. Is that last time you guys saw Hunter, he had dropped 32 and 12, and compared to that, you guys did limit him. So what changed about your approach, if anything, besides Gigi getting healthy?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't play well, and he played really well in that first game. And then, you know, the starters played really bad. So I played our bench guys for like 20 minutes. I kind of waved the flag early, to be honest with you. We weren't going to win after we got that. I think we had 4 points with 6 minutes to go. It was the first time since Tennessee. I think the biggest thing was they understood how we had to play them. I think playing him a second time, especially Julian, I think he had such a better feel for what he had to do. I think that's the important, you know, when you play a team back, you play the 2 teams twice, you have such a better feel how you have to defend them.
Coach, can you talk about how effective your zone defense was and kind of what makes you want to play that against certain opponents?
Yeah, we want to play it all the time. It's just we don't score on the road. So like when you don't score and you're in transition defense, it's really hard to play zone when you're missing shots and you're getting back. I mean, we want to press and get into it. We just struggle. I mean, we struggled on the road to score. So it's very hard. The pressing zone is designed to be something that's continuous, that makes teams think, that wears you down a little bit, that makes you take shots. When you score once every 5 minutes, it's not very effective and it's not worth doing. And at home, it's been very effective because we've been able to score. And I know it sounds stupid, but I thought if we could just get 5 points, we'd be okay in the first 10 minutes. So once we got 5, like everyone kind of relaxed. I thought we played pretty good.
Mars.
Hey, Coach. You dominated the paint. You were getting downhill in the first half, almost at will. What that looked like it was a point of emphasis coming into tonight.
No, I think that's something we've talked a lot about as a team. It's just not. We started the year and we took a lot of threes. I'd still like to take more than 15 threes, but I think understanding that we got to be a little bit more aggressive getting the ball into the paint. And I think it starts with Jameer. I think Jameer's just been, he's been so aggressive. He's been getting in there, and I just think it's opening up driving lanes for other guys. And I thought Ian was really good at just being aggressive today and not trying to complicate the game.
And several times it seemed like on defense you were able to shove Dickinson off of the blocks. Well, your players were able to shove him off of the box when he was receiving it. He was several feet out. Was one of the emphasis being a lot more physical with him?
Yeah. It's when you see a guy like him the second time. I wouldn't say he's not easy to defend. All at 19 and 10, but I think again, Julian's a sophomore. He hasn't been through this league, and he hasn't played against Hunter 9 times. So, now that he saw him, I just think he has such a better feel for how to defend them. That's what I was really happy with Juju in practice the last 2 days, and he understood how it was more about angles and not giving him. We gave him way too many direct post passes in the first game. I just think Juju took it on himself to be physical and understood angles, played the angles the right way. I thought our weak side help was great, and I thought Juju was terrific.
Alex.
Hey Kevin, back here, over here. Considering how the last game went, for you guys to kind of come out and take that lead
It's a
early.
place that loves the last game.
Sorry, but for you guys to come out.
Kind of have a rule in Jersey that we kind of just let blowouts go away. We don't really talk about
Well,
them.
that plays into the question. For you guys to come out and take that early lead and not even give it up.
I'm not joking. I told the team, I said, if we get 5 points in the first 5 minutes, we'll win the game.
And I guess kind of a follow-up to that, you talk so much about how this is a really tough league to play in. For your team to respond to the adversity they've had with this performance tonight, how much does that impress you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll beat a dead horse because I'm really good at it. 4 of our first 6 games were on the road. We're going to see Wisconsin twice, Michigan twice, Purdue, Illinois. I mean, we've been on the road, and I'll be honest with you, it's really hard to get a rhythm when you're getting on an airplane, like we're getting on an airplane on Saturday. It's I have been. Lenardi still has us as a 9 seed. Our net's really good. Our Kempom's really good. I know this place. This place is crazy. Like I thought we're in a great spot. If we take care of home and we keep our home wins and maybe finally play well, we're in a great spot. I mean, that's the great thing about playing well in the non-conference. So every once in a while, you play bad, and in this league, if you play bad on the road, you're going to get embarrassed, and that's what happened. But again, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. I mean, if you lose by 2, you lose by 40. It's just one of those things. It doesn't bother me. So we're right where we want to be. We're 3 and 4 in conference. I'm pretty happy with where we are, considering the fact that we've had the hardest conference schedule in the league. I mean, it's not even close. So for us to battle and be where we are, this team has showed a lot of heart and a lot of grit.
Having a 58-59 possession type of game today, with that sort of defense, is this kind of a blueprint, you think, a roadmap for how this team, this particular team, is going to be able to succeed the rest of the way?
Yeah, I think I'd like to see us play. I still like to see us play a little faster at home, be a little bit more aggressive. I think they're unique in the fact that they can bring Hunter up against the press. There's not too many teams that can do that. It is really, it gets them away from the basket a little bit. But I would like to see it. I think we need to play a little bit faster because we're still not as big and physical as most teams. On the road, I think this is something that this team's is really starting to figure out, is that it's okay to walk the ball up the floor every once in a while. It doesn't have to be pushed every time. But at home, I think I'd like to see us, again, give them credit. They used a lot of clock a lot of times. So I would like to see us play a little bit faster at home. But again, as long as we keep playing at home, I don't care.
Ben and Ryan.
You mentioned one of the toughest stretches in the Big Ten. When you come back home, how much of the emphasis is to trusting guys to get back to the good habits that got you off to the good start, as opposed to moving away from some of the bad ones that we've seen?
What's the bad ones we've seen?
But some of the scoring droughts and
Is that a bad habit?
Not a bad habit, but maybe a bad trend in not being able to get into your press and maybe some of the identities that we've seen in the losses compared to games?
Yeah, again, I'll beat the dead horse. Schedule dictates how you play a lot. UConn's lost 5 in a row. I can go Ohio State, who I think is really good, has lost 5 in a row. Schedule sometimes dictates how you play. And our schedule has been extremely brutal. And the fact that we've been on the road so much, this is only our second home game in the month of January. So I think it's very easy to look at it and say, you're struggling, but I've been around this so long, and my job is to make sure that they understand that sometimes when you go through a schedule, like when we got blown out at UCLA, that was my fault. That wasn't the team's fault. That was bad schedule. Schedule can dictate how you play, and I think we've had bad spells, but these guys haven't changed. They still worked hard. Their attitude's that's the thing. Their attitude has been unbelievable. We got back from Iowa. We had the best 2.5-hour practice we've ever had. Their attitude was great. We practiced yesterday for an hour and 45 minutes. I walked off the court and I told the staff we're going to win this game. So the way I look at it is I always look at it long term. Like, I'm trying to build this program long term to be a championship program, not just 1 year. I'm not trying to do this one time. And it's the same thing I look at the season. You can't look at the season and sit there and say, well, we played 4 really, really tough road games, and we struggled, and we're a bad team now. Like, as a coach, you have to look at all the numbers, all the things, and what you're doing. You have to be honest with yourself. Now, when you lose by 40, I agree with you. There's some bad habits going in there. For the most part, this team has come back. They played well against Ohio State. I thought we played really well against Iowa. Iowa's really good right now. My man Sanford, man, I don't know what he ate in Jersey, but I've never ate anything like he had, because he's been, ever since the Rutgers game, he's been on fire. And we battled. Like, we got down 16, we cut it to 3. We got down 12, we cut it to 6, and had 2 terrible calls go against us. So I left Iowa in a really good mood. I left Iowa knowing that we're a good basketball team, and that we're starting to learn how to fight and starting to learn how to try to win on the road. I don't think we've done it yet. It's the longest answer I've ever had to a question. Just so you know. I'm just trying to get out of here so no one else can ask a question. So if you haven't figured that out yet, it was a good question. I'm trying to make sure Ryan can't ask another question. I'm itching with the microphone.
Last one for Ryan.
I got another Cal question for you. You said he's like willing the most important 7 minutes. Do you see building off of that where he might play more than 7 minutes?
Considering the fact that I'll beat the dead horse and talk about the schedule again. They've decided that we wanted to play. Again, I know it's not popular with our fans, but I think Hunter's arguably one of the best college basketball players. Not only and I've seen in a long time. Now we got to go play against, I think, probably the most dominant center in college basketball. And then I think we play Wisconsin after that. And my man Wall's playing. Not Wall, Crowell's playing unbelievable. So he is going to have to play. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about this. I don't know when Pat gets back, but even if Pat does get back, that's not matchups that's going to work in his favor. You have to at least have some size in there. You have to have some presence in there. And so he's going to have to get 7-8 minutes a game. So yes.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.